Yeah, put half of your Pepsi and half of the other.
Well, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to the Sunday video update. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Berry. Today's date is Sunday, February 20th, 2022. And we have my dad joining me off camera again this week, Amy, who's over on the off camera, and we have a special guest joining us this week. It's my cousin Samantha, and she's just going to be quiet.
Hey, hello, Samantha.
Okay, that's her laughing. Okay, I at least get a laugh out of her. So welcome to the show. It is 3:00 Eastern time. Lots to go over this week. See, Samantha's not familiar with how we do the Sunday video updates because she's never been here for a Sunday video update. She wasn't even aware that I go live on YouTube at 3:00 every Sunday. But now she knows, and now she can't deny it. So, and yeah, I am on YouTube, Sam. So are you going to follow me? Are you going to subscribe to my channel? Because if you have a channel and if you're subscribed, you can comment in the chat log because only subscribers can comment in the chat log. Yeah. And just as I told you, well, let me adjust this mic here real quick. Just as I pointed out to you and everybody else who watched last week, I opened the chat logs to give people a chance to interact. And if they have any questions or comments, I'd be more than happy to read them and answer your questions accordingly. But if you come in here acting like a jackass, bitch ass is history. And I won't lose sleep or blink an eye doing it. So, but that's how I do things, Samantha. Just that's as subtle as I can be. That's how I roll. But anyway, lots to go over, and I'll get to that. But before I do that, Dad, how was your week?
Pretty decent.
Pretty decent.
Pretty decent. There's days where, everybody has them bad days.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody has their
truck back. That's a good thing.
Yeah, Dad got his truck back. My cousin Elwood fixed it for him. So Elwood, thank you. I know you're not watching this, but thanks. Yeah, Dad got his truck fixed, and yeah. So there's been a lot going on this past week. Last week I was telling you about the little boy who was in danger, and Dad and I was there for that, and we did the right thing by calling the police. Sam, you didn't hear about that, did you?
I've seen it on Facebook.
You see? Oh yeah, that's right. You did read it on Facebook. Yeah. See, I forget. I'm so easy to find that I forget what I talk about. How was your week, Amy? All right.
Yeah, until that night that my brother came over to get the puppy.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of
Friction.
It was just a busy week. Yesterday, my cousin Sam had a little get together at the American Legion Hall, and when I say little get together, that's exactly what the fuck I mean, because although she invited
A shit ton of people.
a lot of people, only Dad and I were there. So instead of having actual reasons, they had excuses. Because if they didn't have a legitimate reason, they should have fucking been there, and not, well, I just had this to do, that do bullshit.
I thought it
So-
was next weekend.
No, most
instead
of them-
this weekend.
Most of the excuses were, this week has been crazy, and that's why I haven't been able to be there.
Yeah, that's
Fuck that. That's bullshit.
it is bullshit. It is bullshit. And I also found out prior to going live here that my cousin Samantha, and she's also an atheist like I am. I had no idea, Sam. I mean, that just blew me away. No, and we've had the discussions. I know lots of people who watch this are Christians or they're theists or whatever they prefer to be called. But I didn't know until today that we kind of have the same thoughts about religion and why we had chosen to relinquish our religious beliefs. Although hers is slightly different from mine, which is fine, if that's how she truly feels. And I feel differently, and she respects that. Otherwise, she wouldn't be here. But she also, yes, exactly. She knows who her family is, and
What family she wants to hang with,
and let me point this out just as a disclaimer. You can pick and choose your family. you know, there's such a thing as relatives, which you can't do nothing about relatives or relation, but you can definitely pick and choose your family. And Sam is more than just my relative. She is my family and always will be. And anybody else who's watching this and might have something to say about that, you can go fuck yourselves, because Sam is more than just a relative. She's family, always. And for those of you who may not be familiar, she is, her dad was Rick, which was my mom's brother. And yeah, so a little, you know, thought behind that as well.
And if y'all got something to say, come on here now and say it.
Yeah.
You will get your fucking.
I'll chew you up and spit you out if you got anything to say about that. But, and if you're a first time viewer, I just want to put out there that I'm not an aggressive person. I'm the nicest guy you'll ever meet. But if you're going to come into the chat room and start shit, you're going to be done. But I did open the chat log, as I said at the top of the show, because I want for people to be able to come in and interact. And if they have questions or comments or even concerns, you know, voice them and we can have the conversation. But nobody's in chat right now, which is fine by me, I guess. It just makes the show go faster. And in fact, nobody's watching. So this is going to be an easy show because I have 0 viewers for now. Until we get closer to the 4 o'clock hour. So there were lots of things I wanted to talk about. Lots of things happened last week. I had like a 2-hour long conversation with a mom of a cancer warrior. She moved from Oklahoma to Minnesota. So she's like 2 states away from me. And we talked on the phone for about, I'd say, a better part of a couple hours. And we're planning a meet and greet. I've always wanted to meet her son, and we're going to plan that. And we're going to, you know, get together, hang out, maybe have a barbecue or whatever we plan to do. We haven't really ironed out a lot of details yet, but I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, yesterday was a little supposed to have been a get together at the American Legion Hall. And we had a little balloon release, which was really, I thought, was awesome. And let's see what else has been happening this past week. I finally went to the Taco Bell, the new Taco Bell that opened up here at 52 and 57. I wasn't going to tell Dad because I didn't want him to think that I was a traitor and going without him. So I was going to keep that a secret, but yeah, the cat's out of the bag and so are the tacos. And you know, just as delicious and as enjoyable as I would have hoped it was going to be. And so now they're going to have like a really valued customer. Are you upset that I went to Taco Bell without you?
Yeah, you bastard.
Okay. I'm a bastard because I went to Taco Bell without my daddy.
Right here.
I do have a dad, and he's sitting on the couch. That's right. It was good, Dad. Every bite that I had taken, I thought of you. I really thought of you. Oh, Dad, you're missing out. Ooh, crunch, crunch. Oh, he's flipping me the bird.
Yeah.
He's flipping me the bird. I can see.
Sam's got a second dad, which is me.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll be your second dad.
Yeah, we were there for that yesterday, and I was up at where I was at the back 40 day before yesterday, I think. Yeah, it was the same day I went to Taco Bell. I sat in the park and ride there next to the back 40, ate my food. Then I went in, had a Coke, and ran into my cousin Robbie Perkins. Didn't even recognize him at first. I had no idea who he was, and I had to do it because he's got facial hair and long hair, and he was wearing a hat. And I'm thinking, Jesus, I didn't even recognize you, and it's like, hey, down there, I'm waving, and he put his beer bottle up and tipped it. And then he came over and talked to me for a few minutes, and that was good. Then after I left the back 40, I went up to my friend Kelly's and hung out with her little one. Her name is Lily, and her son Reese. And I had to sit and watch Peppa Pig. I've heard of Peppa Pig. Of course, I don't have kids, so I don't watch it. I don't know what the cartoons are, what's popular, what isn't. But I went up there, sat with them for a little while and visited. And Reese wanted me to play some WWE video game on a PlayStation 4, and it's like, I don't know how to play this shit. You know, you got to show me how to play it. And he was trying to show me the different buttons on the remote. And it's like, man, when I was growing up, we only had like 4 buttons. We didn't have 8, 9, 10 buttons, you have to remember. And then that's when he came out with his comment that, well, you're just old. To which case I put the controller down and I got up and walked away. Because I mentioned, you know, I come from the time when we had regular Nintendo, we had an Atari, we had the Game
I
Boy.
was gonna say it might not have been buttons that we played with. It might have been the joystick.
Right, the joysticks, right? Yeah,
Joystick.
for those are those. That's my generation. That's what I remember. And he's like, "What's a joystick?" Yeah, my point exactly, bud. My point exactly.
You know what a joystick is.
But yeah, we won't go there. But anyway, we had an agreement. We were going to keep this a clean Sunday video because you never know who's watching.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Behave yourselves now.
They're
But
I didn't
Uh,
start it, though.
yeah, Sam didn't start it. I'll give you that. She didn't start it.
Usually I do.
Yeah, usually she does, and she's been starting a whole lot of things. It's like, no, stop, Sparky, stop it.
Come here, Barkley. Barkley, got both sides?
But yeah, so it's been a busy week, kind of an emotional week, but it's been a good week, and I've been keeping in touch with family, friends, been emailing people and texting people and talking with my friends in Messenger, just living the normal, everyday life that I live, keeping in touch with everybody. And if you have Facebook, and if you've always wanted to, connect with me on Facebook, the link to my Facebook is in the about section of my YouTube channel. Or if you go to the homepage on my YouTube channel, you can find the Facebook option in the corner, and you just click on that and it'll direct you to my Facebook. But before you send me the friend request, you got to message me first so I know who I'm speaking with. Because if you're not going to be truthful and legitimate, don't bother. Because I don't have time for drama. And if you think I'm awful here, try me on Facebook. I'm always hungry. No, I'm a decent going person. I try not to give people a hard time. But there was something I wanted to talk about. Speaking of religious beliefs, this was something I was supposed to bring up last week and forgot because I was wrapped up in other business. About a couple weeks ago, I was in a YouTube live stream, and I was talking to, or actually I wasn't talking to them. I was watching a YouTube live stream about this woman who is autistic, and the pastor at her church, at ministry, had kicked her out because she was an autistic individual. And because she was verbalizing this on camera as opposed to, writing it in the chat log, she said that she got kicked out of the ministry because she's autistic. And I blew a fucking top. And so I got into the chat log and I said, that's really sick. I said, I'm an atheist and I'm more of a Christian on his best day. And then I left. I think I was banned from the channel. But in any event, I spoke my mind. I think it's really disgusting and disparaging that anyone who's a clergy member would act like that and treat people differently because they have, whatever it is they've got going on with autism or whatever the case may be. I think it's really disgusting and grotesque. And if I hear of anyone being wronged, or if I see someone being wronged, I tend to speak up on it. And, I tell it like it is, but I'm not going to just idly sit by and keep my mouth shut. And she had that really angry, sad look on her face. It was kind of a mixture of angry and sad. And, I said, that's absolute garbage for anybody to just push you aside, to discard you because you have autism. That to me was absolutely just pitiful. And I tend to speak up about things that really matter to me. And so everybody left the room. Now it's just me. They all got up and went out to the kitchen. I don't know if you guys can hear them talking in the kitchen because they tend to forget that this mic can still pick up their voices, although they're not in the room. But anyway, so that was one of the topics I was going to discuss, and it just got away from me. And that wrapper, when you do that, the mic picks it up. You got to know how these mics work, guys. It can pick up a lot of different noises. You don't have to be right up to the mic for the mic to pick up the noise, because the gain is up on the audio interface up there. For those of you who can't see it, I have a Scarlett audio interface. That's what I use to talk through the XLR mic here. But anyway, so I had a really good week. I'm making plans to meet up with friends. I've been having lots of positive interaction. I've been talking on the phone with friends. I've been texting, emailing, messaging on Messenger. So it's all been good. It's been a very busy, very productive week. I was supposed to go down to my stepdad's to watch a pay-per-view, but I got sidetracked doing other things with the little thing we had at the Legion Hall yesterday and the balloon release and all that stuff. And I thought I might have had time to go down there and at least, watch a little bit of it, but then time got away from me, and it's like, well, can't do that. I don't think my stepdad was upset about me not showing up. I had other prior engagements I had to do. And there's your phone. Wow. That's typical of Sunday video updates. Usually, I get some kind of interruption at some point. So I do apologize for that. Dad's got, it sounds like my grandpa on speakerphone, but so after I'm done with today's show, I'm going to be headed to Saginaw to a Guitar Center. I'm going to be looking at some stage lighting, because I told my dad that, I have a lot of music. I have a big music collection. And when we have our little get-togethers, like for parties or whatever, I like to add some lighting when I play the music. So I'm going to go and price some lighting, some, the different colors, the, what's the word? The opalescent lighting. And gonna see how much the lighting costs. And maybe potentially, if I'm approved a line of credit, I'm just going to get a couple of lights and, start off with a few components and gradually work up. But I can, be approved a line of credit and still make the payments every month. And I'll pay a little more just to get the total amount paid off and paid with interest. And so, yeah, I'm probably going to be headed to Saginaw after I leave here. Everybody left. I guess they didn't want to stick around and talk, which is fine. I can get through the hour on my own, and I've proven that already. And nobody's in chat either. We've got 3 people watching now, so hello to those 3 people, whoever you are out there. We had a winter storm come through last week, and things got a little bit dicey around here, and they're talking another winter storm later this week, and it's going to be strictly snow. Where are you going?
I have to run over to Grandpa's. I got to take those over to Grandpa, those diapers for senior citizens.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For the elderly. So
okay.
I'm not going to be here, but I just want to say bye
to
everybody.
Yeah, say your final words.
See you next week. Be safe. Check on your neighbors.
Yep. So Dad's heading out to Grandpa's,
Yep.
And he wanted to say his final, until next week anyway.
Come we'll help out. We help the senior citizen for,
Yep. Dad, or Grandpa helps the senior. My grandfather helps the senior citizens who are in need of essential items, and Dad's going to go help. And I've had last week when I was on the Sunday video update, I had someone tell me that the video is pixelated when they watch it, or it's not coming through crystal clear, sharp on their phone or on their end. So I just wanted to say that it's my internet connection. It's it's my internet. It's not your phone. It's not your computer device or whatever you're using. It's actually my internet. That's why it is running or it's showing up pixelated on your end. Um, your device is fine. It's all on me. It's all on my side. It's all on my end. I'm trying to think what else happened this past. I need to really start writing this shit down because if I forget, I'm a big major announcement. I'm not gonna remember, and I'm just gonna get through this week without mentioning what's really been going on. I went to because we had all this warm. It was warm for a day, and then it got cold again, and the rivers had risen, and a couple of parks were flooded out in Chesaning. I think Showboat Park is still closed, but it might be open. I'm not sure. I haven't been back in that area in Chesaning to find out what's open and what's not. But I know Cole Park was flooded out. Showboat Park was flooded out, but Showboat Park was closed as a result of the flooding. And so what happened was we got the warm weather, then it got cold again. Well, I went down to the Parshallberg Bridge, and for those of you who aren't familiar with the Parshallberg Bridge, there's an area where you can park your vehicle, and they have a dock and a picnic table where you can cast your fishing poles and you can have little picnics and things like that. And not being able to judge how the driveway looked, I drove into the driveway, then I ended up sliding down because it's on an incline, and I ended up sliding downward, and I had to step on the brake really hard and try to get control of the vehicle. And because I went down there to get some pictures, I was going to get pictures of the river and put on Facebook, which I did, by the way. But getting out was a bitch because trying to go uphill, trying to, on an incline, trying to go uphill when there's ice, the van couldn't get traction, and I was doing this number, and I started to panic a little bit. It's like, fuck, I'm never going to get out of here. Well, I ended up calling Dad, and I said, hey, Dad, I need help here. I'm stuck down here at Parshallberg Park, and he says, well, I'm on my way. Well, I kept trying to get out, and eventually I did. I had to keep to the far left and then drive up, and I gunned it when I was going up. I'm like, come on, baby, get me out of here. And eventually I got to the top of the driveway, and then I called Dad back and said, hey, I don't need your assistance anymore. I made it out safe and sound, and I'm on my way back home. And then my heart rate it wasn't beating so fast, but it had me a little worried. I thought I was going to be stuck down there for a long time, but lesson learned. And then when I got back home and I uploaded the pictures to Facebook, I told everybody, I said, well, if you're going to take pictures of the Shiawassee River, make sure that you take the pictures from the fucking road. Don't do what I did and be stupid and go down the fucking driveway and, take a chance of getting stuck. But I did get out, didn't really need any assistance, but you never know. I mean, you can't always judge when you need help and when you can't, or when you don't need it. But I actually panicked a little bit. So
I said, sorry, Jared. What? I wish you could take your truck so I didn't worry so much. That car will be all right.
You sure? Oh, well, you couldn't anyway, could you?
Oh, you got
right. It doesn't have the right plate on it. Yeah. That's Dad playing it smart. But once he gets the plate on his truck, he'll be able to. Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, I'd rather be safe than sorry too. I think that's a lesson we learned along the way. Or it's a lesson I learned especially last week involving that child, or a couple weeks ago involving the child. So I don't, other than going to Saginaw after I'm done with this, after I wrap this up, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing other than going to Saginaw and probably going to come back home. I have no other plans on this Sunday. So we are getting more hours of daylight, I have noticed. It starts getting dark around, I think, 7 o'clock now, which fine by me, no complaints. I don't like when the days get short. You know, I don't like it when it gets dark so early because I'm afraid of the dark, Sam.
Oh my god.
No,
you're not.
I'm not afraid of the dark. No, I just like it when the days are longer because it just gives you more time to do stuff,
I agree.
you know, and it's not so depressing. And I think that has a lot to do with it. You get the winter blues because there's more hours during the night than the day,
Right.
and it gets depressing.
Worse when you work.
Yeah, yeah. So Sam, are you going to start your own YouTube channel?
Maybe.
Well, I hope you do.
Thinking about it.
You should.
Blog for all my shit.
There you go. And if you do get a channel going, let me know, and I'll get it. I'll subscribe to it, and then I'll put the word out to go and subscribe to my cousin because she's got some stuff to say too, and I don't want to do all of her speaking for her. Wouldn't be fair. But yeah,
If I do, it'd be a blog about my addiction and how I overcame.
that'd be sweet. That'd be sweet. So, yeah, and I wouldn't know personally. You know, I've never had a problem with addiction, but there's a lot of people I know, including Sam over here. She's really come a long way, and I'm proud of her. My brother included. He had some issues with addiction, and he's overcoming, or he did overcome, I should say, and I'm proud of him too. Anybody who can overcome that kind of a thing, they always get my support automatically. So, yeah, Sam, you get that channel started, and I will definitely subscribe, and I'll definitely get the word out. Because we're on Facebook. We're on each other's Facebook, so I'm sure if she gets a channel started, you'll send me the link, and then I'll make like a quick video on my channel here and include the link in the description of the video. We'll do it that way and get more people to subscribe. And by the way, don't be one of my trolls and going over to her channel and giving her a hard time, because I think Sam can handle herself pretty well with assholes.
I can.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I've seen her get mad. I've seen her get mad.
I mean, so yesterday during the memorial thing, when I had you guys run to the store for me real quick, I was telling you when you got back about how people had called just to start trash talking and how I'm nothing but a piece of shit and all this other stuff. And I don't get mad at people like I used to anymore. Like, I don't really let it bother me because I've learned how to deal with the shit, but it's still ridiculously stupid.
It is.
And people need to realize, like, a past is a past for a reason, and people can overcome things.
That's right. That's right. Your past doesn't define you.
Correct.
So, yeah, people are just, and it's almost, and the people who don't understand are always going to have something to say about things that they know nothing about. Which, okay, you have your opinion, but that's just like your opinion, dude. But having gone through that, you can speak directly and personally about those things. And who's going to tell you? No one's to tell you that you're wrong about your feelings or what you've experienced. And I think it's positive. If you can help somebody else, like, hey, this is what I went through and this is how I got out of it. And if you have a channel and you put together videos and people reach out to you, you can make a positive difference. And I believe in that. You can make a positive change for other people. I tell my brother the same thing. And it's true.
He tells me the same thing.
You can. Yeah.
He's been trying to get me doing one for psychology.
Like you can have a positive impact on people's lives, because there's people out there, I mean, you would know there when you feel helpless and hopeless, like there's no way out of this, and then you find your way, and then you discover that there is. So, but again, like I said, I'm not really the best equipped to be talking about these things because I don't want to put words in your mouth, and I don't want to put words in anybody else's mouths, including my brother.
I'm going to interrupt for a minute. I'm going to my room to do my medicine.
Speaking of drugs, no, no, prescription, folks, prescription. And she doesn't have an abuse problem. But yeah, I support it all the way, Sam. If you get a channel going and if you can reach out to people and change people's having a positive impact, I'm all for it. I support it 100%. Yeah. And and like she said, your past is your past. It doesn't define you, doesn't define the present, and it sure as fuck doesn't define the future. Because it's not, it's not going to be with you all the time if you're able to get out of it. But anyway, I think I shouldn't talk myself into a corner, because eventually, sooner or later, you're just going to tell me to shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. Just shut up. And she'd be justified in telling me to shut the fuck up. I wouldn't care, but I can't commend it enough. I think it's great. I think it's positive, and I think, I think it'll do a lot of people a lot of good. But Dad had to take off. He had to go out to my grandpa's, and not knowing when he's going to be back, I'll probably be gone by the time he gets back. So it'll probably just be Amy and Sam here, watching over the fort while the men are gone.
You wish you were a man.
I know it's a dream come true. Yeah, they'll be here while we're gone, and like I said, depending on how things go, if they approve me a line of credit, I might come back with a couple of items and then just make the payments every month, because I have really good credit. Let's see. What else is there? There's so much to talk about. I need to start writing this shit down.
I'm surprised you don't, as much as you write.
I know that's the one thing I don't do. I'm like ad-libbing everything here, but that's every week. I ad-lib everything. The Samantha shit talking channel.
Hey, we've done that since we were little to each other. So.
Oh yeah. I remember one time I was at her house when we were kids. I was over at her house, and she had this, I think it was a squeaky toy for a dog. It was a pork chop, and she fucking whipped it at me. She got mad at me, and she fucking whipped it at me. It's like, what the fuck? And I don't even remember what it was about. You got mad about something, and you whipped a fucking pork chop at me. And it's like, what the fuck? I don't even remember what it was, but I'll never forget it. Do you remember the time when I think Amanda was babysitting us, her sister, and we threw that barbecue sauce in the ceiling fan?
No, I don't.
And it got all over the fucking furniture. Your mom was pissed. Your mom was pissed. You and your dad were gone. I was like, what the fuck? What happened in here? I don't know. I have no idea. Don't look at me. No, it was a little barbecue, packet, with the seal on it where you can peel off. I threw it in the ceiling fan. When the ceiling fan was on high, and it fucking barbecue sauce went fucking flying everywhere, got all over the furniture. I was a kid, I just wanted to test physics, chuck a fucking barbecue packet into a ceiling fan.
What goes up must come down.
And make a mess. And your mom was so furious. She's like, what the fuck happened in here? I don't know. I missed my mouth. I don't know. It was, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it.
I remember them making mud holes for us to play in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then hosing us off before we went in the house.
Yeah. That was something. That was really something. I can remember too, years ago when your mom and dad lived over on Furden Road at Grandma's old place. And your dad had a car, and it had the lights going all the way around in the interior of the car. I remember that. Yeah, he let me get inside of it. And I was like, this is cool. I never seen a car like this, But he was the man. He had the dice hanging in the rearview mirror. It was fucking awesome. It was cool. I don't even remember what year that was. But we were kids. We were just little. But I can remember it. I can picture it in my head. It's a blurry memory, but I remember it. I remember that it happened. And oh yeah, lots of memories. But you know, that house, that they tore that down years ago.
They put in a different one.
Yeah, I think it's
The shed's still there though.
Yeah, the shed's still there. Yep, and then but the house, it's like a 2-story house now, and the Wilcoxons are still across the road, I think, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah. Fucking Daryl.
He still lives there.
Yeah, I haven't seen Daryl in a long time. But yeah, there's a lot of memory. And for those of you who may not be familiar, the tractor pull, the Mid-Michigan Gas and Tractor Show, is just right down the road from where Grandma used to live.
Quarter of a mile.
Yep. Quarter of a mile, Ferdinand and Brennan, right on the corner. Yep. It's still out there too. They still have the annual tractor show, and I haven't been over there to the tractor pulls, and God,
I haven't been over there in forever.
it's been, oh shit, well over 20 years. Well over 20 years, probably closer to 30. I remember going over there one time when I was a kid. And that after that, I think what it was is because my mom got scared after that shit went on with that kid. He got kidnapped and murdered. I can't remember his name, but it was big news. It was big news. He was kidnapped and murdered. And I think the guy who kidnapped him was a pedophile, but I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, and I think after that, that's what stopped us from going over there. Mom got afraid. You know what else I remember growing up with you? Your mom never let you kids watch The Simpsons.
I hate that fucking show.
She never let the kids watch The Simpsons. And I always watched The Simpsons. I loved it. Well, they're not allowed to watch The Simpsons. Why? Because it's inappropriate. Inappropriate? Have you seen South Park? South Park is way out there inappropriate, but I love it. I love South Park. And it just blew me away. Like, The Simpsons are inappropriate? Really? I wouldn't have ever guessed. But but then again, look at SpongeBob. There's a lot of people who say that SpongeBob is inappropriate for kids. I mean, it's just a sponge and a pair of underpants.
I used to not let Zoe watch it.
Is it because he was in underwear?
No, it wasn't because it was in underwear.
Well, why didn't she watch?
Some of the innuendos in it.
Oh, I see.
Are inappropriate.
Yeah.
But then John moved in and she started watching SpongeBob.
Like he let me get away with that.
Mm-hmm.
What Mama wouldn't let me do, he is.
That's true. Dad, can we have money? We want to go to the store and hang out at the park. There you go. Be home before Mom.
Yeah, and looking back on it, like like when our parents were growing up, they wouldn't even mention a toilet on TV, let alone show a toilet, because it was inappropriate. Mm-hmm. Now they show toilets, they talk about going to the bathroom, they talk about farting, pooping, peeing, puking, they talk about sex, they talk about everything and anything that at one time was taboo and you never talked about it. But now it's kind of out there. And if you come to watch my Sunday video updates every week, yeah, I kind of say some things that are out there. But I think we're in that different time now where when we look back on a lot of things compared to nowadays, it's like, really, we were trying to limit that. It's almost like Footloose, the movie Footloose. They abolished dancing in the town because it can lead to, bad stuff. Who's calling me? Sally? Sorry, Kelly. Sally. When you get Sorry, Kelly together. Don't know what to tell you. I'm in the middle of doing something. So I'm at this point, I'm going to have to ignore that call. I'm sorry, Kelly, but I'm in the middle of a video here. I'm live on YouTube. Sorry about that, folks. I guess I should turn the volume down, huh? Put it on vibrate. 1 second, folks. Sorry for the interruption, guys. And I'm sorry, Kelly, but I'm going to have to ignore your call for now because I'm in the middle of a video. I've had enough interruptions for one day. Damn people. Oh. No. Oh, you're watching the live. Okay, cool. You could have just texted me that and said, hey, Jared, I'm watching the live. No, I love Kelly. Kelly is a sweet lady. I love her to pieces. Well, thank you, Kelly, for letting me know. Sam's rubbing off on me over here. Before we went live, she told me I should be the most meanest, mouthiest prick you've ever met in your life.
I never said that to you, lying fucker.
She didn't. But hey, it was fun. No, thank you, Kelly. I appreciate you watching. If I think Reese has a YouTube channel. If he does, and if it's okay with you, he can subscribe, and if he can get in on the chat, he can say hi or kiss my ass or whatever he wants to say. You know, he can come on here and be as nice or as rude as possible. But I know Reese, so I won't give him a hard time. Although the other night when I was up there, I kind of had to say something, you know, don't be testing your mom's patience and behave yourself and do what you're supposed to do. Do as she tells you. Oh, I'm talking to Reese. Well, hi, Reese. Hi, Reese. I know you wanted to call me during the live video, buddy. I'm sorry. I don't answer calls while this isn't a call-in show. Although, wouldn't that be cool if it was a call-in show?
You should do that someday.
I should do that someday. Because if the trolls want to call me and say stupid stuff, well, they're going to be putting themselves out there as the big fools and idiots and jackasses that they are. But I know many more kind, fun, caring, loving people than I do trolls. So, Reese, I do apologize, buddy. I'll get back with you when I'm done. And I'm not even sure what time it is. I can't see without. Oh,
3:42.
Man, that hour goes by quick, doesn't it? But yeah, so Sam knows now that I do this every week. It used to be when I started out doing Sunday video updates, I would pre-record it so I could go through and edit and add words on the screen and things like that. I used to promote a website called GuideStar because there was someone in the childhood cancer world who was riding off the backs of sick kids, and I called him out on his bullshit. And now I just decided to do live streams because it's much more quicker, it's more efficient. And once I hit the stop or the end stream button, it's just going to be on the channel. So that's why I do the live stream. Nobody even talked in the chat log. And today was going to be like a really good day. I mean, Sam's here. Y'all got to say hi to Sam. At least say hello to Sam in the chat log if you're watching. And come on, subscribe to the channel. Go on the chat log and say hi to Sam, and I'll relay the message to her. That's all you got to do. Jeez. Okay, who's texting? Oh, Reese says hi, Sam.
Hi, Reese.
So there you go. You could have come on to the chat log, Reese. If Mom will let you, though, I don't want to be forceful there. I mean, if she doesn't want you subscribe, although she knows who I am, I don't see why it'd ever be a big deal. But yeah, it's whatever. You know, it's up to her. So, what are your plans today, Sam?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I had enough of everything yesterday.
Yeah. She tied one on last night, and she came here, which I'm glad she came here. And she didn't continue to, you know, drive.
My feelings.
Yeah, be in her feelings and drive, you know. And she came here. She prayed to the porcelain gods in the bathroom. I thought for sure you passed out, you know, because you had your head like this, and you were just, you know, I'm thinking, fuck, she passed out on the toilet, and I got to take a dump, you know. It's like, Dad, go.
No, I did not.
Okay, it's like, Dad, go check on her. And then when I walked in there to check on you, you were fucking laughing. You thought it was funny. It's like, okay, well, at least I know she's not passed out. Unless she's dreaming of something and she's laughing in her sleep. But
I've done that.
That's what I thought at first. That's what I thought was going on. But no, it was an emotional day yesterday. But now I think she's having a better day.
Very much.
And you're on my very first Sunday. Well, not my very first Sunday video update. It's your very first appearance on my Sunday video update, which is fucking cool, man. That's something my brother Wayne would do, because he's a city slicker. Mm-hmm. He does this shit with his hands.
That's what happens when you're
in the ghetto. Area. Yeah, Saginaw.
Exactly, in the ghetto. When you hang out in the ghetto.
When you're in the nasty, huh? In Saginaw.
I picked up on some of that stuff too when I was going out to Flint all the time.
Ugh, Flint. I was in Flint last week. I was in the downtown area, which it's nice. You got all the bright lights and everything. The arches going across Saginaw Street, where the street's brick layered. But just to drive, like when you get away from downtown,
it gets sketchy.
Cross your fucking fingers.
It's sketchy out there. Right?
Yeah. And this was at nighttime when I was in Flint.
Jesus.
It's like, oh God, I hope I didn't just make a big mistake, because it gets, it gets leery out there. I don't like Flint, even during the day. I mean, you wouldn't think during the day you would be afraid of a big city because it's daylight, but strange things happen in the daytime too. And,
right.
You just never know. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know one thing's for certain. I'm not going to be drinking the water. I'm just passing through. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here as quickly as possible. But the downtown area is actually nice. I mean, they got, the tall buildings and all the lights and everything. They got the restaurants, and the Secretary of State is in downtown Flint. Lots of big buildings. Reese thinks it's funny. But I try not to stick around the big cities because of Flint. There's a lot of politics happening with Flint, with the water and the high crime rate, and I just don't want to be there. I don't prefer to be there. Flint is one of those areas, in my opinion, that you can so much as look at someone the wrong way and they're pulling a fucking gun out on you. And that's just not somewhere I would want to be. That's why I try not to look at anybody. I keep my eyes on the road, and I'm just doing the speed limit. But I am watching, looking around and checking in my mirrors. You got to, be mindful of police. If a cop pulls you over, you got to pull over and do that. But other people, like when they're walking down the side of the street, especially Saginaw Street, that's where all the drug deals go on, by the way. I've seen it happen with my own two eyes. They just walk up and down the sides of the streets, and they look like they're up to no good all the time. And I know I shouldn't judge, because maybe they're just walking home, or maybe they're just walking to the store to get a pop or a bag of chips or a bag of powder. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. But in any event, I want no part of it. I try to steer clear of the bigger cities. Lansing doesn't bother me. I like Lansing because it's our state capital, and I'm very familiar with Lansing. I know my way around Lansing. I wouldn't live there. I spent 6 months of my life at Sparrow Hospital. I wouldn't want to be there forever. I wouldn't want to live there permanently. I know Sam would.
In Lansing?
Yeah.
No.
I've got friends who...
I don't like big towns.
I don't either.
I don't like big towns now.
Yeah. I know I have friends who actually lived in Lansing, and they're trying to move out into the country. They're trying to get out of the city. Even small towns like Chesaning, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't bother me. Chesaning is a small town. Everybody knows each other. It's not a sprawling metropolis like Flint or Lansing or Detroit or Saginaw or Grand Rapids or any of those places. Chesaning is its own little community. So everybody pretty much knows everybody. I get along with most people in Chesaning, believe it or not. there's the occasional enemy or big mouth here or there, and that's to be expected anywhere you go. But for the most part, I'm well known around Chesaning, and people know my name. They know what I look like. They know what I'm about. They know what I do. So it's all good. I have lots of friends and family from this area, Chesaning and Oakley and Owasso, Elsie and Chapin and Marion Springs and Saginaw and Hemlock, Merrill, all over. I have family as far away as Tucson, Arizona. I have family everywhere, sprawled out. So, yeah, I'm well known by lots of people, but I kind of keep to myself most of the time. Although I live a pretty open life when people see my Facebook or when they come here to my YouTube channel. I'm pretty open about some things, not everything, but some things. And and again, I'll say it right while she's standing here. I think for her to start a YouTube channel talking about her struggles with addiction, I think that would be a positive thing for her to do. And we need more positive. We need people to say, hey, I've been there. I know what it's like. And this is how I got through it. And if you feel hopeless and helpless, turn to me. I'll be your support. I'll be your survival guide. And me being
it's called a sponsor.
A sponsor. Yeah. See, she took the word right out of my mouth. And even as myself being a childhood cancer survivor, a lot of people turn to me for advice, and I don't give unsolicited medical advice. I'm not a doctor. But when people ask me what my experiences are, what I went through and what I deal with now, I like to elaborate on that. I talk about my after effects from chemo, being almost 33 years separated. March 2nd is the day. Don't forget. That's when I was diagnosed, and then my port come out on September 21st of 1989. But there's a lot of people. I've made friends with so many people over the years, and yeah, you were just little yourself. Yeah, it was a long time ago, and it doesn't seem like it's been that long. But looking back in retrospect, all the things I've been through, and all the the checkups and the appointments I had to go to, and then seeing that with other people and their kids, they're taking their kids to these appointments and their checkups, or should I say they call them scans nowadays. To me, they've always been checkups. I don't know if what the terminology was back in the 80s or the 90s, but I call them checkups because they're always checking up on me. So it was just easier to call them checkups. Everything, because we know so much more about it now than we had 30 years ago. And it's actually refreshing to connect with people who share those common interests. And I'm not blowing sunshine up anyone's skirt. This is me talking from direct experience and giving their children hope, saying, this is what I went through, and your kids are going through the same thing. I'm here for them if they need me. If they got questions or comments or concerns, get a hold of me. We'll have those conversations. So I feel I don't want to say I'm lucky to have, I wouldn't wish cancer on anyone, but because it happened and it was out of our hands, like cancer always is, it's out of our control most of the time. I would say that, people turning to me for questions or comments or concerns, I think it's very heartwarming. It's uplifting. People come to me because I've been through it. So, and I'm, way just rambling on here, but I think it's cool when people can overcome things that things that weigh them down, or troubles, ailments and maladies and such. And then they overcome that, and then they talk about it later on. But I've really rambled and ranted, but actually more of a ramble, not a rant. I think you guys know the difference between a ramble and a rant. I've got plenty of daily rant recordings on this channel. And I call people out by name, Sam. I really do.
I get it.
She's just quiet over there.
People are assholes sometimes.
Yep. And it catches them off guard when I call them out by name too, because it's like, yeah, you fucker, I'm talking to you. This is for you. And it's happened on more than one occasion. I don't like to do it because I'm not a mean person, but I'm also not going to take shit from people. And life is too short. You can't take shit from people. I learned from Sam though. I'm learning a lot from Sam.
I hate people who think that I'm just going to take their shit anymore.
Yeah.
And I throw them for a loop when I don't.
There you go. That's my cuz. We rub off on each other like that. It's like, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Nobody should have to put up with people's unjustified crap, you know?
Shit that they have no idea about in the first place.
Right. Exactly. I mean, if you've never been in that situation, you have nothing to say about it. Just last week was the Super Bowl, right? It was last week. Well, I'm not a football fan like at all. I could really care less about football. And there was a big stink on Facebook about the halftime show. I guess there were some old school rappers. I didn't see it, but I guess there were some old school rappers on there, and some people thought it was cool. Some people thought it was lame. And me telling a friend that I don't give a shit about football at all. I really don't care to watch it. I think it's a boring sport. I don't care to watch it. And this friend of mine says, well, for someone who doesn't watch football, you sure are aggressive about it. I'm just sharing with you my opinion or my feeling on that. It doesn't make me aggressive. It just means that I'm stating my opinion. I don't like it. It's a boring sport. And I left it as that, but she took it the wrong way and we haven't spoken for a week. But I know she'll come back. Because she's a sweet person. Maybe she was just having a bad day, you know, and it come out in that, you know, like, oh, you're starting in on me now too. I'm not starting in on you with anything. I'm just saying that I don't like football. We can like different things and still be friends. Like that is possible. But I don't know. I haven't talked to her in a week. I probably should email or text her and ask her how she's doing. But yeah, you don't have to like the same things to not get along. I mean, if Samantha over here thinks that chocolate ice cream is the best flavor and I think vanilla is, we can have that disagreement. But
peanut butter cup.
Oh, fuck. Peanut butter cup. I was way off. So, I mean, we can have that disagreement, but she's still my family. I'm still going to talk to her. I'm not going to let some little petty shit get in the way of who we are. I mean, we're family. And the same goes for friends, you know. Life is just too fucking short. You can't let little shit get in the way. And, you know, speaking of, you know, Sam was saying just a few minutes ago that now she's learned how to react to people's bullshit. I've gotten to be the same way. There are lots of things that I don't agree with. And yes, on occasion I will voice out about my concerns or I'll put my opinions out there. But for the most part, I would say that I have learned how to control how I react and respond to certain situations and how I react and respond to the trolls. And
you don't always have to lash out in response to people because that's what they want.
Right. They're just looking to get a rise. Yep. So I've gotten better at it. But, you know, you can have your opinion and you can disagree with someone all day long. Okay, everybody has an opinion, but we can still get along. And I think a lot of time, because you get trolls sometimes who will come and say that you've said or done something that you know you didn't fucking say or do. And they do it just to get a rise out of you, like Sam said, to get that reaction because that's what they want. And in order to obliterate that, you don't reply to them or you block them. And so I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to get better at how I respond and how I react to certain things and certain people. And I'm just out here living the best life I can. And that's all I can do. That's all anybody can do. It's all any of us are able to do. So I'm really trying. I'm really trying. And there's people who, Sam, you probably, this will blow your mind, but someone actually flipped out because of the use of my word fuck on my channel.
Okay, it's a word.
Yeah. I say it on Facebook on occasion, but I say it here more on YouTube because I don't give a fuck. See, there it goes again. But and it's just little things like today I saw a meme on Facebook and it had the word fuck in it. And there were a couple of people who got their panties in a twist because, I'm don't care much for this foul language and blah, blah, blah. Don't just get a life. It's a word, like who cares? I don't get people. They find the littlest things to bitch and nitpick about. And it's like, wow, don't you have a life? Don't you have better things to do? But obviously they don't. But anyway, folks, I have been here for the hour. The hour really creeps up fast. And I thank you all for joining me this week, although no one was leaving a comment in chat, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. Next week, maybe perhaps. But the chat log will be open next week and maybe potentially for the weeks to come. My name is Jared Fuller, a.k.a. Jared Bear. I thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'll be back next week on the 27th. It'll be the day before my brother Wayne's birthday because his birthday is on the 28th. So I might even dedicate the Sunday video to my brother Wayne because his birthday will be on the following day. So, to our guest, my cousin Samantha, is there any last words you would like to say before we go? Nothing? You don't want to say, kiss my ass, fuck yourself, buy me a bag of chips? You don't want to?
Oh, you're going to the store?
Well, I'm headed to Saginaw when I'm done here. But you don't have anything to say? Oh, yeah. Who is it? Can someone get the door? Hold 1 second.
Get in there.
We're done with the show anyway. Amy, did you have any final words? Peace out and be safe. Who was that?
FedEx.
Oh, it was FedEx. It wasn't Sabbath at all. So anyway, guys, I wasn't expecting FedEx on a Sunday. Who's it for?
I'm going.
For Dad?
It says Wayne colored.
Whoa.
I'm not going to mess with that. Anyway,
We'll leave it.
we are over the hour. I am going to be heading to Saginaw once I wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching the Sunday video update this week. My name is Jared Fuller, a.k.a. J Bear. I'll be back next week. Have a wonderful week. Love each other. Treat each other with kindness. Be good to each other. And Reese, thank you for trying to call. I'm sorry I didn't answer your call, buddy, but I don't answer phones during the live stream. But Sam had a good suggestion. Maybe I should do a call-in show one time. I used to do it on Facebook, by the way, a call-in show where, I used to do that and it was fun. But anyway, guys, much love. Have a wonderful week and I will see you next week, next Sunday. Off to Saginaw, I go to Guitar Center. So peace out, guys. Take care.